Welcome to your April reading, Cancer. Here we are. I can't believe that like a quarter of the year is gone already. like, yeah, it's crazy to think about that we've already gone through like the first quarter of the year. So, a few things cosmically that are going on. We have a Libra full moon happening on the 5th or 6th of April, depending on where you are in the country or in the world. It could be happening very early morning on the 6th of April for you, very late at night on the 5th of April for some of us. And so that's happening in your 4th house. And this is going to be really focusing on your, like, what brings you stability. So this Libra full moon is also going to be connected to the eclipse season that's happening in October. The April eclipse season, or the early eclipse, the first part of the eclipse season this year is happening in April. We'll talk about that in a second, but the Libra new moon in October will also be during eclipse season. And so this is connecting us, this is you, where is your stability? Like there are going to be some massive endings because you're healing. The sun is going to be conjunct Chiron during this full moon in Libra that's happening on the 5th. And Chiron in Aries, and that's like just opposite, right? This full moon is going to be opposing that conjunction. And so, the healing that is going to be coming up, the triggers that are going to be coming up, like, I don't want to put fear into anybody. Like, that's not the whole point of me saying all of these things, but the things that you have not faced when it comes to you being stable in your life, mentally stable, physically stable. This could be you like having Chiron in your 4th house anyways, connecting to your ancestors during this time can be a huge way of healing yourself and looking and seeing what your ancestors have done, looking into the past, your genealogy. And I actually know a few Cancer risings that are doing that for themselves right now. But the Chiron in your 4th house is an excellent time to dig into that ancestral lineage. And, what is it that you're healing for your family, for all these generations? The 19th is when we will have the Aries total solar eclipse at 29 degrees. So that the anaretic faded degree in Aries, this will be happening in your 10th house. This is the second new moon in Aries. But this Aries solar eclipse is probably not really going to feel like a new moon. It's probably going to feel more like a full moon. And the beginning of eclipse season, when we talk about eclipse season, we talk about eclipsing things out of your life. Sometimes that happens for people. Sometimes new stuff comes in to people's lives during this time. And it sort of just depends on where you are in your journey and like how much you've done to be aligned to your path and to be aligned to what it is that your soul wants you to do, what your intuition wants you to do. If you're not really listening, then yeah, eclipses can be really hard because they're it's like a course correction. It's like the tower. When we get the tower in a reading, we're course correcting. Everybody's gotten the tower so far. I don't know that Gemini didn't get the tower, but there was the world. So definite endings for Gemini. But May 5th is when we'll have the Scorpio lunar eclipse in your 5th house of expression. So we'll talk about that a little bit more when we do your May readings at the end of April. And that we'll also be talking about your season too. Like your season is coming up pretty soon. In a few months. So then we have the 21st. We have Mercury retrograde beginning until May 14th. So Mercury pre-shadow starts on April 5th with the Libra full moon. And the post-shadow will be done on May 30th. But the retrograde, and I give you guys the pre-shadow and the post-shadow dates because pre-shadow and post-shadow retrograde, Mercury retrograde, that's when I see things happening the most. That's when stuff, doesn't make sense the most. And then the retrograde's fine for me. But the retrograde happens from the 21st to the 14th in your 11th house. So you may find that miscommunication online, because the 11th house often represents the internet. So you could find that your words are being like misinterpreted or being taken out of context. This is a really great time to sit down and plan for what you would like to see for the rest of the year. Maybe not initiating anything or taking action on anything. I'm actually ready for Mercury retrograde, you guys. Like, I'm exhausted and I want everything to slow down a little bit so that we can get some perspective. I'm so tired. Let's see what it is that Cancer is surrendering for the month of April. Let's see what it is that Cancer, the power of surrender cards. Okay. So we have surrender to spirit. This is an awesome card for you guys. So once you've done everything you can do to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. Surrender to spirit. So do everything you can to achieve a goal, and then let spirit take over from there. And I feel like you guys are sort of on the precipice of some pretty big things shifting and changing. The Cancers that I know are going through some pretty big life experiences right now. So, yeah, so we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Seven of Cups, and we have the Star. Now, if I recall, like, you guys have been getting the Star in your reading for quite some time. So you're either dealing with an Aquarius energy. We also have Gemini and Capricorn also, but if you're dealing with an Aquarius energy, there's a lot of confusion. There's also a lot of confusion if you're not dealing with an Aquarius energy. There's confusion around your path, because the Star, in a lot of ways, like, I always think of the North Node when we get the Star card. I don't know why the back of my head itches right there, but I always think of the North Node in our birth charts when I see the Star. So what I feel like is there's, I feel like you're getting some kind of information coming in with this Ace of Swords. Aces are gifts from the universe, but I'm not sure that it's very clear information. Like, there's still some things that need to be sorted out. We have the Lovers and the Nine of Pentacles and the Devil on the bottom row. And this makes me feel like some of you are going to become single in April, or some of you have already become single, or you're like learning the lessons around it. So let's get into clarifying these, because I'm very curious, because I feel like there's some kind of confusion that's happening around becoming, like, some of you have become single and now you're just kind of like, I don't know what to do now. But there's a massive Saturnian lesson that's going on here. So let's look at Ace of Swords. Oop, okay. This one goes here. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. So it's the conversations. This makes sense now. So there's a conversation or some information, and it's pretty heartbreaking. Like, this goes right along with the feeling of like that there's some kind of breakup, or there's some kind of like you want to do something on your own. But that Three of Swords feels like you had maybe a conversation with someone. Be careful with your words during April. Like, be very careful with your words, because I feel like they can be they can sting other people too. And I think the reason why I gotta say be careful with your words is because you're already hurting. So whatever it is that you're saying can hurt other people. It's almost like you're projecting your pain onto other people. We got the you got the also Mars is in Cancer through April, and so another way, right? Like your actions and your words can be very stinging in April in a big way. The Magician on the 7 of Cups, and I was sort of feeling this, like, you're creating the situations around you. So if you don't want to have the emotional confusion anymore, you have got to be willing to create the environment that you want that doesn't have the emotional confusion anymore, like, period. Whoever this is in your life that's bringing that pain and that heartache and that emotional confusion, like, it's time for you to manifest yourself out of this situation, because that energy has been around for a while. Like, I've been reading for you, doing your readings for just since December has made me feel like there's this energy that's around you that needs to be removed. So right, and you get the 9 of Cups on the star. Like, that's the wish card upon the wish card. Like, you're in a really great spot to manifest your life right now, Cancer. And the more you allow yourself to manifest it away from those negative thought forms, the easier this is going to be for you. The 9 of Cups on the star. Look at that. The wish card on the wish card. And it's true. I mean, like, to an extent, not all of your words, not all of your thoughts are going to manifest exactly like, we're not going to talk about that in a literal law of attraction kind of way. I think that the law of attraction, like, there are a lot of idiosyncrasy. Like, there's a lot of little things with the law of attraction that can get us in trouble if we're not paying attention, right? So being very patient and looking at yourself as a whole in a different way, and looking at relationships. This whole Libra Aries axis with the solar eclipse that's happening on the 19th, with the Libra full moon that's happening on the 5th, we're really looking at who we are, the I am, versus our relationships and how we react in relationships. So with the Hanged Man on the Lovers, like, really taking the time to look at the perspective at, like, what does it look like for your wholeness? What does your wholeness look like? And what does that look like in relation to other people? Are you giving your wholeness? Are you, like, do you only feel whole when other people are giving you that wholeness? Do you own, like, are you able to give yourself that wholeness? Are you able to feel that wholeness by yourself? Or do you need other people to feed you, like, positive affirmations and positive things in order to find that wholeness? And then we have the 9 of Pentacles, which again is that independence and that wholeness, like being able to create your life, your own abundance individually, right? So let's see what this. So, and really, like, for some of you, you have Capricorn energy around you. But there's your earth sign friends are really helping you. You also have Sagittarius energy around you with the Temperance card here at the bottom of the deck, but being patient with yourself. So we have this King of Cups, which would be your energy, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles, which in a lot of ways is also very similar to your energy with the nurturing side. And we have that on the 9 of Pentacles. So this, to me, feels like you're like you being whole, right? But also your earth sign friends are there to help you. Even more so helping to guide you moving forward too, right? So like finding this wholeness, because that's what this feels like, Cancer. It's almost as if you're like, April for you, I keep wanting to say May. I did that in the Gemini reading too. April for you is really, it's cutting off things in your life that's no longer helping you to connect yourself to spirit, helping you to connect yourself to this wholeness. Every single time you have to rear up in your ego and it becomes painful, that's a great big gigantic red flag for you to look at. And we come in here and surrender to spirit because that's where we learn how to have faith. Surrendering to spirit, that's where we learn how to have faith. That's where we learn that our wishes can come true, when we're surrendering to spirit. When we've done everything we can for ourselves, just letting it, it's like Jesus Take the Wheel, right? That song, Jesus Take the Wheel. We also, your last cards down here, we have the Knight of Pentacles with the Devil. And, you know, again, that Capricorn energy, that Knight of Pentacles is about not skipping the steps. And I think that's one of your Saturnian lessons that you're learning right now, is about not skipping those steps. Being able to take action and not do that passive aggressive motion, sideways, Cancer side. Like, I'm just going to go around this instead of deal with it head on. You know, crabs, how they like have to walk around things because they can't go over things. That's what you guys do. It's the avoidance factor. Right. But learning what your wholeness looks like and being able to manifest from that place. And I think that that's where the perspective change is happening for you guys. So Temperance at the bottom of the deck. Please be very patient with yourself. Give yourself grace and compassion during this time. The more grace and compassion you can give to yourself, the easier it is to give to other people. And be patient. Know that it's on its way, right? You have the Ace of Wands underneath the Temperance card. Things are coming. It's very, very close. Very, very close. So I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for hanging out with me. I do have an eclipse reading. If you would like to see what the eclipse energy is going to do for your chart and affect your chart, it's a limited time special reading. It's in the description box if you're interested in that. But we'll talk about this eclipse season. We'll talk about the eclipse season later on this year. And we'll talk about Mercury retrograde happening during this eclipse season as well. Love you guys. Bye.